Hey guys, what's up? This is Camblam and welcome to my channel. So today's vlog is going to be a little different. If you remember from my update video, I said I was going to make a Mario plush collection video. So this is basically my setup I got going on here. I'm going to take all of my plushies and separate them as characters and line them up all right here. And I have all my Mario plushies in these bags. I just like to keep them in bags because I really don't have enough space to put them in my room. So I just go ahead and put them in the attic. And see, usually I would keep my favorite characters up on here and up here. Which this is also where I keep some of my amiibos. And every now and then I put some characters on this pillow and this pillow. Guys, I cannot tell you how excited I am for making this video. I've waited such a long time to finally do this. I think I finally collected enough plushies to where I think I can make a video out of it. And since this is my first Mario plush collection, now I'll be sure to do an update each year. So let's get this thing started. We need to start off with Mario. Now, of course, if you guys watch my plush videos, this is the first Mario that I have ever owned. And you can definitely tell because of how old and raggedy and flimsy it looks. I remember when me and Dylan were playing with these plushies and he accidentally ripped his little thing off here. I was so mad because I usually don't let other people play with my plushies. But my mom stitched it back together. And here's someone you've never seen before, Baby Mario. I was originally going to use the babies as Mario and Peach's kids, but the series just never got that far. And if you've seen my plush movie, here's Fire Mario, which in the movie I called Michael, because the movie was meant to be far off into the future, and Michael was meant to be Mario's son. And here is my brand new Mario. This is going to be the updated version of Mario for when I make my new series. Now, the only gripe I would have to say about this plush is that his little cap flap covers his eyebrows, and that his nose is a little too high above the mustache. Now, the next two are brand new. So here is Tanuki Mario, or Raccoon Suit Mario, I'm not really sure. Now, I used to not want to get all the power-up forms, but the more I thought about it, since I'm creating a new Mario plush series and it might take a different route than the original, well, I just thought maybe I will include some power-up suits. Because originally it was going to be just like if Mario had a fire flower, he wouldn't turn into his fire suit, he would just have the fire power. And the last one, which is my favorite, Builder Mario. And as I said in my update video, I've been playing Mario Maker 2 non-stop. And I tell you what, when I found this plush on eBay, I just had to get it. Sure, it's like a little taller than my regular Mario plush, but I just wanted to get it as a collector's item. See, that's why I didn't even cut off the tag. Because that's what I usually do for all my plushes, is that I cut off the tag. And there you have it, all my Marios. And now, for the Luigis. And as you can tell, this one is also my first. In the series, this version of Luigi was kind of the dumb version. Like, totally not a ripoff of retarded Luigi from Super Mario Logan. Which, his first videos are basically what made me fall in love with Mario plushes. But of course, his content has changed so much that I just really don't enjoy it anymore. And here's Baby Luigi. Now, this one's not the same kind as the Baby Mario, and you can tell with this version because this one's hat just can't come off at all. But I do plan on getting all the new versions of the babies anyways. And here's Fire Luigi. And if you remember, his name is Lucas. If you've seen my plush movie, then you know that he comes in near the end of it. And he kind of revealed that he was his brother. Or was he? And here's my brand new Luigi. Now, by far, this is my most favorite Luigi that I have ever gotten. And you can totally see the difference between the two. And the tall and skinniness is just the perfect representation of him. But of course, if his head's scrunched down a little too much, kinda looks fat. And there you have my Luigis. Next up are the Toads. This one here is the first Toad I have ever had. Even though this one's like fat and ugly, it was still the only Toad I ever had. I can't tell you how many times I've struggled with his voice. And here is my new version. And guys, I just love this version of Toad. It's like soft, short, and plump. And you will be seeing him in the new series. And I also have Blue Toad. He is literally the same as the other Toad, just blue. And here's a Yellow Toad, except this one is in its squirrel suit form. Now, this guy was going to be a character specifically for the movies, but I just never got up to that point. And there's all the Toads. Moving on to the Yoshis. Now, sadly, I don't have my first Yoshi anymore, as I gave that one away. But this one is my brand new Yoshi, and it is just fantastic. And here is Orange Yoshi, and if you've seen the movie, you know this character as Eric, who was meant to be the son of Yoshi. How did I come up with these names? I do not know. And now never before seen, Baby Blue Yoshi and Red Yoshi. I just cannot wait to involve them into the new series. You know, looking at them now, it's kind of giving me some Fire and Ice vibes. Maybe I'll use that idea. And there you have my Yoshis. Now for the princesses. And as you can see, this is my very first Princess Peach. All old and raggedy, but yet her dress is still really soft. And here's the new version. Now, the one thing I can say they improved on this plush is her face. And her height as well. Definitely when you compare it to the older version. Now see, what I did was I cut the little string that attached her hair to her back. Just that way it would be easier for me to hold her. And here is Princess Daisy. Now, what makes me so sad about Nintendo is they don't put Daisy in enough games. I just love her as a character. She's always strong and confident, definitely not the lady in distress kind. I mean, heck, it would have been nice to have her as a playable character in New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. But no. And you know what's so funny? The first time I ever got a Daisy plush was actually this like horrible and ugly bootleg one. So yeah, that was like the first time I've ever been tricked on eBay. And this one's brand new, Princess Rosalina. Now I have to say, this one was definitely one of the hardest plushes for me to find on eBay. But when I found the right one that could really be trustworthy, I just had to get it. It was definitely a little expensive, but I literally had no other choice. When it comes to my experiences on eBay, when you see an opportunity, you gotta take it. And there are my princesses. Now for some classic Mario rivals, here's Wario. For those of you who may or may not remember, in the past I did start a new season, and it was just one episode and it had Wario and Waluigi in it. The new season was going to be kind of based off of the 6 golden coins story. It's just a shame that I never really got to use these characters. And here he is, the mischievous Waluigi. And I tell you what, the memes that have become of this guy are insane. I mean, heck, people even wanted him in Smash Bros. Ultimate. But I mean, come on, we got Wario in there, so why not Waluigi? Honestly though, these other Mario characters need a lot more love. And now here's Birdo. Now, I've played Super Mario Bros. 2 on the Super Nintendo, and this is like the only boss I remember because I never got that far ahead in the game. And here's Nabbit. Now, when he was first introduced in New Super Mario Bros. U, I just found him so interesting. Because with him having this mask on, which looked way too similar to Bowser Jr.'s, it just kind of made him seem like this mysterious character. And trust me, I've looked. There's nothing underneath. And there you have it for some rival characters. Now, of course, we gotta talk about the Big Daddy himself, Lord Bowser. Now, as this is my first Bowser, this was definitely my first favorite plush I've ever gotten. Because at that time, I didn't have a main villain. Now, if you look through my playlist in my channel, I have a Mario & Luigi The Dimension Adventure playlist, which was originally the first Mario Plus series I've ever created. What's funny about those is that I used a Nintendo 3DS to film those. I never got to finish it though because my original YouTube account got logged out, and I didn't have an email at the time, so basically I was permanently locked out of my account. But here is my new version of Bowser. And I have to say, this version is 100 times better. Not only is it bigger, but it has a better looking face. Plus, it's not old and raggedy like this one. So, goodbye. Now I present to you Dry Bowser. Now, I'll tell you guys right now, this plush was meant to be a part of the movies. The Bowser that was in the beginning of that movie was actually just an older version of Bowser Jr., while this of course was going to be the dead Bowser. But as you guys should know, this one is just the fake version, as there is now an official version of Dry Bowser. But when I do get it, I'm not so sure what I'm gonna do with this one. And there you have the Bowsers. Now for Bowser's kids, here's Junior. Now at the time, I did not know this, but when I first got this Junior, I thought it was the real version. Turns out, it was actually the fake. And you can tell here because of the bottom of his feet. Now, of course, he did used to have the cuffs and the bib. But I just went ahead and took those off because not only do I have a new version, but this one's the fake anyways. So I wanted to officially call this one Baby Bowser. So here is my new version. Now, of course, the only thing I can say I don't like about this plush is that he's standing up, while all of the other Koopaling kids are sitting down. But the more I looked at this plush, the more I started getting used to liking it. Now for the Koopalings. Here is Wendy. I have to say, she's a very cute plush, a lot smaller than what I thought she would be. And then here's Roy, definitely one of the coolest looking Koopalings. And then you have Ludwig von Koopa. I would like to think the main reason he's my favorite character is because if you've ever seen those YouTube videos, Bowser Jr. Goes to School, then that's why. Which brings me to Morton, which if I remember correctly, his full name was Morton Koopa Jr. I just wish I knew the true origins of all of these Koopalings. I mean, heck, I don't even know if they're all related to each other. And here is Comet. Now, he's not a Koopaling, but he is a Magic Koopa. And you see, I wanted Kamek to be the main henchman for Bowser in the first season, but I just didn't have him at the time. See, what my plan was for the next season was that Kamek was going to return from a long magic training trip, and he was going to be on the search for those 6 golden coins as some sort of unknown source of power. And there you have Bowser's children. Now the rest of my plushes are all minions, so let's start with the Goomba. I never got to use him in the series, but he was in the movie, and I will be getting the All-Star version. Next is the Red Koopa. Now this character was known as Kevin in the series. As you see, he used to have wings on his back, but when it came to the season finale, I had to cut him off to give the effect when he turned into a dry bones. But thankfully I was able to get another Koopa. But I will also get the All-Star version. And then here's my Green Koopa. And I believe the name of the character was Thomas? I'm not exactly sure, but he was supposed to be the older brother of Kevin. And then here's the Piranha Plant, which I think is just so awesome. My favorite thing about this is doing this. Nom 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 nom. And then here's a different version. I don't know if this is like an older version or just a fake one, but you can tell because of the flap on the pipe and its stem is really wobbly. And then here's a Bob-omb. Not only do I have 1, but I have 2. But eventually I will have 3 because I'll have to get the All-Star version as well. And then here's a Boo. And again, if you remember, the first time I ever used him was in the movie. And God, the voice I gave him was just horrible. And yes, I do have another one. And then I have the Shy Guy. And this is the All-Star version, but I do wish they gave different colored Shy Guys, just like they did with Yoshi. Especially a green one, because I really want to make that trio from the Mario and Luigi series. And of course, I have 2. And those are all the common enemies. And here's one of my favorite enemies, Wiggler. I think Wiggler is one of my favorite characters because Super Mario World is my #1 favorite Mario game. And here's a brand new one, Fuzzy. I don't know why, but I think it's just so funny that I can hold Fuzzy and throw him around like he's a little ball. I mean, he is, but he just feels different compared to a Bob-omb. And then you have Lakitu. And now, of course, he also does come with this little spiny here, but he used to hang from underneath the cloud. And when I got him on eBay, he was already cut, which is fine with me because I was going to cut it anyways. Now, what I think is so cool about this plush is that basically there is nothing but a little hole inside this cloud. It's hard to see, but there is a hole in there. So what I'm going to do is when I get the All-Star version, I'm going to cut this Lakitu off the cloud. That way I can put characters in it. Then again, I do kind of wish they sold the cloud by itself, like they did with the green pipe. And this is my most recent plush, Porcupuffer. This plush was definitely kind of hard to find on eBay. But let me tell you, when I found it for 13 bucks, I had to get it. Now, of course, it's kind of old and the fins were cut and all the spikes were flimsy and stuff. But I mean, I would have cut the fins off anyways. And for the spikes, I easily just fixed it by using my mom's hair straightener and it pretty much fixed them. Sorry, Mom. And then here's Dry Bones. Now, of course, if you watched my series, then you know that Kevin the Red Koopa turned into Dry Bones at the end. I'm not 100% sure on what the story was that I was going for, but it's like this dark, evil creature possessed this random Koopa and basically was trying to get a body of his own to, I don't know, destroy the world, I guess. And for some reason, the only way to defeat him was by elemental powers. Look, honestly, I don't know what was going on in my head. Oh, and I have 2 of them. And yes, I will begin the All-Star version. And now, Bullet Bill. And of course, I did leave the string on him. And then you have Chain Chomp. Now, I would say the one thing I really like about this Chain Chomp is that the chain has this, like, shiny texture to it, while the All-Star version is just fabric. But of course, I will begin that one anyways. And then we have the Mecha Koopa. Also one of my favorite enemies, as he was also introduced into Super Mario World. And then, the Thwomp. I have to say, this is definitely one of my favorite enemies that was turned into a plush. Like, it's so simple, it can literally just be a pillow. I think the one weird thing about this is that it has a big old Super Mario logo on the back. And there you have all of the unique enemies. And now for my final top 5 enemy plushes. Starting at number 5, Monty Mole. Now, I think the reason I put him at number 5 is just for nostalgic reasons. Because if I remember correctly, I think he was also first introduced into Super Mario World. But then again, there were those Rocky Wrench moles that were in Super Mario Bros. 3. And for number 4, Spike. I'm not sure what it is, but something about his character design is just so adorable. And I'm not the only one who's a fan of him, because he's actually starting to become more popular in Mario games. I would say the one thing that's weird about this plush is that when he sits flat, his feet cover his arms. I just kinda wish the arms were a little bit higher. And then for number 3 on my list is the Boomerang Brother. Not only is he from one of my favorite Mario games, Super Mario 3D Land, but he's also blue. I like blue. And I think it's funny how I have the Boomerang Brother, but not the Hammer Brother. And for number 2 on my list is Pom Pom. I think what makes me love this plush so much is especially the back. I don't know what it is about it, it's just these little spots and the way it was made. It just looks cute. I guess the only thing I kinda wish it had was a ninja star. And for my number 1 spot is Boom Boom. And I mean, come on, you guys saw that coming. Number 2 was Pom Pom. And of course, when it comes down to it, I think the most favorite part of this plush, again, is the shell. Just something about the way it's made and how the spikes are, especially when you compare it to the Koopalings. And another thing I really love about this plush is his giant fist, which means I can swing his arms back and forth just like he did in the game. And then there you have my top 5. And with that, that is my entire Mario plush collection. Huh, you know, it's kind of funny to see all my plushes together like this, because when I really look at it, it doesn't really seem like a whole lot. But of course, there are still plenty more plushes that I need to collect. So really, this is all just the beginning of a huge collection. And with that, I think that will be the end of my first Mario plush collection video. I just can't wait to collect more and make another one next year. And without a further ado, this is Camblam, and I want to thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.